Tegus Bennett, who you're about to see there, was being escorted out of Club Luna when he shot a bouncer. Now he's facing charges of attempted murder, possession of a weapon during a violent crime, and possession of a weapon by a convicted felon. 7 News reporter Katie Soltz spoke to the owner of that club today.
We don't want this stuff to happen. We definitely don't want this stuff to happen ever.
A Saturday night concert turned into a crime scene.
It was a fun crowd. It was no problems. Nothing. We had that one person that we had to throw out, and that was it.
But that one person, Tegus Bennett, wasn't happy about being asked to leave Club Luna. Johnson says during a concert at the club, Bennett tried to get on stage and was asked to leave. After the club closed, that's when things turned violent.
The bouncer got paid, and as he got paid and he was walking to his car, altercation happened outside.
That altercation ended with the bouncer getting shot. Thankfully, Johnson had his own team of security on hand who caught Bennett and held him until deputies came.
I had about 12 bouncers on the inside. I had 4 armed security guards on the outside just to make sure nothing like this happens. It could have been a patron, it could have been a customer that got hurt.
Johnson says he has armed guards at the club all the time, but after this, he wants more protection for his patrons.
A lot of us club owners have asked is if, instead of us using necessarily armed security, is if we could actually have the sheriff's department moonlight at our places.
Because as the owner, Johnson says it's his job to make sure people are having a fun and safe night.
We have people's mothers, fathers, children, all coming to, our club, so it's my goal and my duty to make sure everyone makes it home safe.
In Greenville County, Katie Soltz, 7 News.
Katie asked Greenville County Sheriff Will Lewis about providing clubs with additional security, and he told her that he hasn't yet spoken with the club owner.
As y'all just seen, some shit happened in 2017 at a club. I just watched the news clip, so I ain't gonna get into all that. This is what Dolph was going through when he died, because that shit happened in 2017. But as you can see these dates, this dude that well, let's just read the paperwork. I just seen what happened. The nigga shot a bouncer, and now it turned around, and not only did the dude that got shot is suing the club promoter and Dolph, and the nigga that did the shooting is suing them too. Like, this shit crazy. But let's read this. I ain't gonna read it all, but read enough for the people in the back. On April 8, 2017, Mr. Thornton performed at Club Luna. Third-party plaintiff Frederick Wilson was employed as a bouncer at, I'm just gonna call him Young Dolph, Mr. Thornton, at Young Dolph's performance. Defendant Byron Johnson, y'all know that's the club owner, hired and paid the security for Club Luna. Tegus Bennett, stand your ground. Now, hired and paid the security for Club Luna. Tegus Bennett, stand your ground. Mr. Wilson had been employed as a bouncer for approximately 15 years. He was an experienced bouncer. As a bouncer, it was his job to make sure everyone on the premises was safe and he resolved any problems. Third-party defendant Andre Ballinger, Mr. Ballinger, was a member of the promotion team. He was responsible for arranging Mr. Thornton's performance on April 8, 2017. Mr. Ballinger walked plaintiff Tegus Bennett, Mr. Bennett, into the concert. So the promoter walked the shooter into the concert. So they came together or some shit like that, or he just met him at the door. Mr. Wilson briefly spoke with Mr. Ballinger at the concert, Mr. Bowden told Mr. Wilson that young Dolph was outside and about to enter the building. Mr. Wilson was told to clear the stage area. So that's the promoter telling the bouncer to clear the stage area. Mr. Ballagher did not ask Mr. Wilson to clear the stage area. So they just said Mr. Wilson was told to clear the stage area. Okay, so now they saying Mr. Ballinger did not ask Mr. Wilson to clear the stage area. I'm just going to read. We'll break it down at the end. He did not have any other conversation with Mr. Ballinger. Mr. Wilson began clearing the stage area. As he was clearing the area near the stage, Mr. Bennett, the shooter, was standing in the middle of the stage. Mr. Wilson asked Mr. Bennett to move from the stage. Mr. Wilson did not move. They got this messed up because Mr. Bennett was standing in the middle of the stage. Mr. Wilson asked Mr. Bennett to move from the stage. Then they say Mr. Wilson did not move. That must have been Mr. Bennett. Mr. Wilson asked Mr. Bennett for a second time to move from the stage area. Mr. Ballinger was standing nearby and complied with Mr. Wilson's request. Mr. Wilson asked Mr. Bennett to move from the stage area for a third time. Mr. Bennett refused. Mr. Wilson told Mr. Bennett to move for a fourth time. At that point, Mr. Bennett swung at Mr. Wilson. Mr. Bennett was removed from the club by Mr. Wilson and other security guards. Mr. Wilson was not told to remove Mr. Bennett from the club. Mr. Wilson used his discretion in deciding to remove Mr. Bennett from the club. Let's go. All right, as y'all can see, the shooter, Mr. Bennett, filed this paperwork April the 6th, 2020, and this shit happened in 2017. He is alleged in assault and battery, negligent supervision, premises liability conversion, and negligence against Mr. Wilson, Mr. Johnson, and Club Luna. On August 25th, 2020, Mr. Wilson filed a motion to dismiss. Okay, so that's just trying to get rid of it, which was denied. Mr. Wilson filed his answer counterclaim, all that, January 12, 2021. Third-party defender Mr. Thornton, Young Dog, Paper Route Empire, Paper Route Touring, filed the answer and counterclaim and motion to dismiss on March 5th, 2021. So Dolph was trying to get him to drop that shit too because it was bogus. Third-party plaintiff filed a motion to dismiss third-party defender's counterclaim on April 25th. Mr. Thornton, Paper Route Empire, and Paper Route Touring's motion to dismiss was heard before the Honorable Alex Kinlaw Jr. on April the 8th, 2021. Dolph died in November 2021. Judge Kinlaw denied Young Dolph's motion, and we're just going to skip over all that. So he was suing the club owner and Dolph. On March the 23rd, Mr. Thornton, Paper Route Empire, and Paper Route Touring filed a motion for summary judgment as to Mr. Wilson's claim for negligence, behind supervisory retention. All right, let's go down here to this. I'm gonna let y'all read all that. Y'all know what to do. Scroll all. Stop it, start it, scroll to if you want to read all that. Now, let's go to the bouncers. Mr. Wilson is the bouncer. They got shot by Bennett. Now, this is his testimony. I guess they asked question. Do you understand how the lack of security has anything to do with the fact that you had to remove Mr. Bennett from the club? His answer was, I can't be. I don't really understand the question. Mr. Bennett was removed because he was being belligerent, ma'am. Question. Mr. Bennett was removed because you felt like he was not listening to your directions. Answer. He was. He didn't want to move from the stage area, ma'am. The directive for everyone that was over there was to clear the stage area out. If he was standing in the middle of the steps, that means that Dolph had to bump into him or go by him to get to the stage area. Question. And because Mr. Bennett wouldn't listen to your directions, you did what you were supposed to do as a bouncer and removed him from the club. Answer. Yes, ma'am. Question. Do you believe that Mr. Ballinger, that's the promoter, did anything on April the 9th, 2017 to encourage or promote violence in any way? Answer. Mr. Ballinger? Question. Mr. Ballinger. Answer. No. Question. All right. And the fact that he's Mr. Thornton and the fact that he's young Dolph been shot at 100 times or has a previous problem with Yo Gotti, what exactly does that have to do with the fact that you had to remove somebody from the club? Now, how does Dolph being shot at 100 times in North Carolina? That's the South Carolina, North Carolina, y'all get it. And then Yo Gotti nine come up. There you go. That was a separate incident, ma'am. Question. All right. And you feel like just because you had to do your job and remove somebody from the club, that young Dolph should take responsibility for that in some way? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Question. Do you have any other reason to believe that young Dolph should somehow be responsible other than the fact that you just had to do your job? Answer. No other reason, ma'am. This was a young Dolph concert I was working. Question. How did Mr. Ballinger encourage Mr. Bennett to interact near the stage? They asking him how did the promoter encourage the shooter, Mr. Bennett, to interact near the stage? Answer. I don't know what encourage he had with him. I didn't see any conversation between them. Question. Okay, so you had no idea whether Mr. Ballinger encouraged Mr. Bennett to be near the stage. I have no idea. Question. Do you know if Mr. Bennett was searched prior to entering the concert? Answer. I have no idea. First, in the up there, they said he wasn't searched. Question. If Mr. Bennett was admitted to the concert without being searched, would that have changed your decision in any way to remove him from the club? Answer. I don't know. I have. I seen him by the stage, so I don't know. I don't. I have no idea if he was searched or how would I feel if he wasn't searched. Question. Do you know if Mr. Bennett was given a wristband when he entered? Answer. I only seen Mr. Bennett by the stage area. I haven't. I don't know what he was given. Question. Would the fact that he had a wristband or didn't have a wristband have any impact on you kicking him out of the club that night? Answer. Well, I was told to clear the stage area, ma'am, to get the artists in. So it didn't make a difference who had a wristband or not. The stage area had to be cleared so the artists could come into the building. Question. You said it wouldn't have made a difference if he had a wristband. Answer. It wouldn't have made a difference if he had a wristband or not, ma'am. The stage area had to be cleared, ma'am. The people came. The patrons came and paid to see the artists. So that was the main objective. So the artists could come into the building and perform. Question. Do you believe that Mr. Ballinger did anything wrong that night? Answer. I don't think he did anything wrong. I didn't have a problem with Mr. Ballinger. I don't. I don't think he did anything wrong. Question. All right. And what is it that young Dolph did wrong that night? Answer. Well, I mean, if I could, I would say even have the event, period. Like he shouldn't have even had the event. He should have, but he had to do what he had to do as an entertainer. But he shouldn't have had the event. Question. So Young Dolph shouldn't have had that event so that you wouldn't have shown up for work and done your job and removed Mr. Bennett from the club. Answer. Yeah. Most likely, yeah. He shouldn't have had that event, period. Based on what he had going on pertaining to his, that was all on the internet. You know, all these different problems he had back and forth with this person and that person, this song being on the internet and things of that nature. This motherfucker crazy. Trying to blame Dolph for this shit. Alright, I'm just gonna scroll up and let y'all read all of this by yourselves, just so I won't cheat nobody. For anybody that's, and it's a lot more. I got like 25, 30 damn files with exhibits and all of that. I guess I'm gonna put all that in another video for y'all, and we're gonna do it like that. But yeah, this is what Dolph had going on. Now, it's funny how the person that got shot and the person that did the shooting, the shooter is suing the bouncer, and the bouncer is suing the club and Young Dolph. What the hell is going on? But that last name Bennett, yeah, I did a little light research on that, and it's looking like that's youngsters, kinfolks. Even though he bright skin, light skin, it's a lot of them goddamn Bennett's, man. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. My name True. I will be making the video with, I guess, the whole damn case for y'all. I'm just gonna scroll up and let y'all read it all by yourself, but it's very interesting, and it breaks it down in a detail all the way. So I'll do that for y'all.